Hello, my name is Valerie, and today I'll be sharing my personal testimony with witchcraft and coming out of witchcraft and where I am now with my walk. So, just to start off, I just want to make a disclaimer that this isn't to pressure anyone, this isn't to condemn anyone. This is just to share my experience and what I learned from it. So, New Age religion, or what some people call it witchcraft, or any occult practices, I'll just lump in together. New Age religion specifically is what I was doing. It started when I was in middle school, and it progressed all the way to high school. So I just started off with the basics, watching YouTube videos, like reading posts and forums and blogs just about other people and their experience with it. And from there, I started to get interested in it. And one of the first things I started doing was moving chi around, just the basics. And, I wasn't super into it until high school, where I met a former teacher, which I am not going to name. She was really my guru, per se, and she really catapulted my experience with New Age religion. So ultimately, I got into it because I felt there was something lacking in my life, and I didn't know what it was. And I thought it was something to, look at and go into. And the more I did, the more I felt like I was doing something positive in my life. So my former teacher, we started off talking in a really interesting way. At one point, this was my junior year of high school. I had a pendulum necklace. My senior year, I had a pendulum necklace, and my sister had given it to me. We were just like, oh, it's a crystal. It's a something, for my birthday. And so I wore it to class. And that day, she was talking, and she just looks at my necklace and she goes, I like your necklace. And I was like, really? And she's like, yes. And I was like, okay. So she's like, do you know how to use it? And I was like, how to use a necklace? I was really curious and confused at the same time, because I was like, how can one use a necklace? But she was talking about the crystal itself. And from there, we just kind of started talking, and we just became really close friends. So we started, practicing chi every day after class. And from there, she would just teach me everything from how to meditate, how to close things properly, how to do this, and just many different stuff. And so, my experience, I thought it was something that I needed. I thought it was like me connecting with my higher self. And it just, I didn't know what I was messing with. At the same time, I was a so-called Christian. A Christian, so-called Christian. And the reason why I do air quotes is just to say that I might have called myself Christian, but was I really? No. It was just something where I went to church and I was like, okay, I guess I'm Christian now. I believe in God. And there was really no walk. There was no relationship. It was just me professing to be something. So at the same time, I was just like, I wasn't confused. The word I'd say that would describe what I was doing is just deception. I was deceived. I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't even know what witchcraft was, even though I was practicing it. That's the craziest part. I kind of just went to church. My church never really touched on it, which most churches will not touch on it. But, at the same time, while I was practicing witchcraft, a New Age religion, the occult, basically, I thought it was something good. Somehow, I thought that it would bring me closer to God, but it did the exact opposite. So I was just, doing everything, meditating every day, doing my little pendulum stuff, just practicing and trying to get better. And every day it just felt like okay, more stuff would start happening. A lot of warfare started happening in my life, and I was like, I didn't know why, because I was like, okay, I'm doing this right, and I'm doing this right, and I'm doing this right, but it's like the more I tried to get better at it, the more it got worse, and I didn't understand why. At that time, I was opening up portals that were not supposed to be opened. I was opening up doorways that should have never been opened. I started to let things in that were not supposed to be let in. And I'll go more in depth, but this is the part where it really took me by surprise. It was like a shock to me, where I opened up my eyes and I'm like, what did I get myself into? 3 days before graduation, 2 days before graduation, I was, doing the usual, meditating with my, former teacher after class, and on that specific day, 2 days before graduation, I was meditating, and I was sitting across from her like I am right now. I was sitting across from her, and I want to say like 10 minutes in, 7 minutes in, I'm closing my eyes, doing my little mantra, sitting down, and just all of a sudden I start hearing what sounds like whispers. Like, it sounds like a bunch of people whispering. I guess if I were to do it, just sounds like people just whispering in my ear, and I, closing my eyes, and I'm just like, oh, what if it's good? Like, they say when you're meditating to allow everything that's in. Everything is not supposed to be in. And I just remember hearing that, and I just, I kind of brushed it off, because I was like, this is not what I learned. They tell you to be open-minded and let everything, in or out. Let everything in and out. And so, I started to feel really weird in my spirit, and I kind of just brushed it off. And I opened my eyes, and I looked at my teacher, and I was like, she can't hear that? Is it just me? So at that point, I start to get worried, because I'm just like, is this normal? And I just, in my spirit, I just start getting little shivers and everything. And so I relax again, and I close my eyes one more time, and at that point, I start hearing the whispers again. And this time, it's like really close, like someone is whispering in my ear, like they were just, I don't know what they were saying. It was, I couldn't even make out what they were saying. It was just a bunch of whispering, and it got really close, and all I remember was a feeling of dread that came over me. It was like a feeling of desperation my soul felt. I needed to get out of there immediately. It felt like the best way I would describe it was like someone was going to kill me. And I feel it from my right side. So on this side, it wasn't like a gust of wind or anything. It wasn't like I seen something. It was just a feeling in my spirit that I had to go. I said, I cannot be here anymore. I don't even know why. My body, my spirit forced my body to get out and run. So, I just immediately got up from the chair like that immediately and ran around the desk behind my teacher. And I started crying on her shoulder. And in my head, I'm like, who's crying like that? Like, I literally touched my lips and I was trembling. And I was like, I'm the one who's crying. My brain didn't even have a chance to register what happened at that moment. And I was just like confused, scared out of my mind. And I was like, what's happening? What? Like, it was a cry from my soul to literally get out of there. Whatever was opened at that point was not supposed to be there at all. And at that time, I'm just crying on my teacher's shoulder. And at that time, she's doing casting. At that time, she's throwing spells at it to make it go away. And she goes, get back, you do not belong here, you do not belong here. And at that time, I'm freaking out even more, because I'm just like, so she can see it, like. And I'm not gonna lie, her casting did scare me, because I'm just like, like, I've never experienced this before. It feels like right out of a movie scene. And I was just crying my eyes out. I couldn't do anything. But eventually she says it goes away. And after I collect myself for what was left of me, I sit down and I just like, what was that? And she says, it appeared to be a green demon. And I think I recall her saying that it had like some scaly face, some reptile-like face. It was just green and nasty. And she said it looked like it turned in an invisible corner. So like if there was a wall right here and just like, I'm there. That's how it looked like. So turning an invisible corner, which to me, it immediately registered in my head like a pocket dimension. And I'm just using these words because that's how I describe it, but most people would just say you're opening up portals. Like a vortex is essentially what I had opened up unknowingly. I didn't even know what I was doing. I thought it was good, oh, let everything in, and do this and do that. And I even closed my chi right. So I didn't understand where this was coming from. And after that day, I had to walk home. And I was like super upset, super confused, like confounded at the same time, because I'm just like, I'm doing all of this and I get attacked. Like ever since I started this, it's like attack after attack, and that was the most major one. And I started thinking, like, okay, how did it happen? Like, what did I do to open up these things? And it was when I discovered it was through meditation, I started opening up these things. and I had to recall what exactly I did. So, for anyone who knows, when you meditate, there's a certain state where people call it Kundalini, spirit. Kundalini. It's a state of where they say that, it's when you're in deep meditation. I forgot exactly what it does or what it's supposed to do, but when it happened to me, it felt like a snake was going up my spine. And I started moving like a snake. I started going like this, like that. And I'm like, what is this? And I started looking it up, and it was like a Kundalini. And I was like, at that point, I had to think, and I'm like, I let something in through my body. You are a portal. You can allow things to enter you, to take control, and to manifest in your life without even you knowing it. And this is why I say I was deceived for letting those things in the earth that were not supposed to be let in. A lot of times with the spiritual community, it's like, everything is good. Not everything that is light is good. Satan masquerades himself as an angel of light. And, I'm just thinking about these things, and I'm just like, it all makes sense. The same day I got attacked by that demon, I started to see balls of light. It almost looked like when you take a magnifying glass and you point it at the ground, how it has that little sphere of light. That's exactly what it looked like. And those things, those portals, they only started to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And I was scared of it. I didn't know why. I thought it was good because they say everything that's white, think of a white light, think of a white light. And so I was like, oh, think of the white light, think of the white light. It's good, it's good. Even though my spirit was like, it is not good. And these portals would just start opening up while I'm not even meditating anymore. It was like, I could see it right there, or I could see it right there. And it would just grow and grow and grow. And I had to close my eyes, turn away, and it'll still be there. And I was getting scared, freaked out, like, why is it still there? And this is multiple times. One incident was in class where that same day where I got attacked, in my third period, and I just saw that light, little ball of light, and it started to grow and grow, and I was like, nope, I cannot let whatever is going to come through there in class and have me get attacked in front of all these people. So I just, distracting myself, try not to look at it, blink, and it was still there. And finally just distracting myself and reading and talking to my friends, it started to fade away, like a light that was slowly turned off. It started to dim. And just that point of where you don't even have to be meditating anymore for stuff to enter, where you have no control over it because you have allowed these entities to enter your life. And it didn't matter what I did, no matter how many protection spells, charms, curse spells, all that stuff, it didn't matter. Because what I had opened up, it was still open. It was still a doorway that was open. And it was me doing that every single day. Me having those items, the idols in my house, everything. And I never thought that it would happen to me. And I know people get attacked a lot, especially doing this witchcraft and being in the occult a lot. But I never thought it would be me. I'm like, I do this right, I do it properly. Like, people don't even know how to do this or do that. Like, do they know what they're messing with? Meanwhile, I didn't know what I was messing with. I didn't even know what witchcraft entailed or what it was. I just had a sense of ego and pride. And that's also another thing that happened to me, emotionally and physically. I started to transform into this egocentric person. I used to be like people, the way I thought, and obviously it's horrible, but I used to see people and I used to think to myself, like, pathetic. Like, every person that walked around me was like pathetic because they couldn't do something. They couldn't touch the metaphysical. And I was like, they don't have any powers. They're weak. Like, that was my thought process. Was literally like ew, humans. Me being a human myself. I was like disgusted. And there's just so many various trials. But just transformation. The biggest tool in witchcraft. Transformation. Just as Satan transforms himself into an angel of light. And he will always deceive people. Do this. You're doing it for your own good. You're doing it to save the world. You're getting in tune with your spiritual self. By allowing who to take control of your life? Because if it's not the Holy Spirit, the Kundalini spirit is what's inside of you. And that's the farthest thing from God. Most times people think that spirituality draws them closer to God, but it's the exact opposite, with a pretty bow on top. Satan will always try to take something and twist it. He has his false light, which is the one that people envision in their head. Let the white light in. The white light. Test the fruit. Test the spirit. I have never gotten attacked in my life. Even when I was a child living in a haunted apartment, things would open up, doors would slam. I would be the one to close those doors. I had no fear. And then when I started practicing witchcraft, the spirit of fear entered me. I couldn't even sleep with my lights off. I was afraid. What's around the corner? What's the sound? Why is this moving by itself? I was afraid. And the fruit of that spirit made itself known. So I just want to end this little testimony saying that a lot of times, especially today, especially right now, in this generation, there's a lot of witchcraft going on. And people, children, don't even know what it is they're messing with. This is the farthest thing that you can get from God. Reflect upon yourself. ego is one of the hugest things that can tear you away from God. Ego and jealousy, pride. And that's exactly what most people who've been through my experience have noted, was that when their ego grew, when their pride grew, they felt a separation occurring between them and God. They were also deceived into thinking that it was something that was going to draw them close, but it was the exact opposite. When you start to pick up the mindset, the doctrines of devils, you start to pick up the way they think, who they are. The mindset of humans are inferior to me, even though you are a human yourself. Ego, Satan, or his former name, Lucifer, wanted to be higher than God. He thought he was God. I will be like the Most High. I will ascend the heavens. Because he thought he was fit. Ego. You will be like a god. That is the same lie told to Eve in the garden. You will be like God, knowing good from evil. It obviously wasn't worth it. I had to destroy everything that I had to close any possible doorways, even in my spirit. Your chakras, doorways. Anything that you have. Crystals, tarot cards, pendulums, any idol that you have, any object of the occult. Whether it's cultural or not, it's still considered an idol. And these things are doorways. Get rid of all the idols. And stop asking for a sign. Time is running out. So stop asking for a sign. Let this be your sign to discontinue. So I'm just going to end in Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Lord God, go ye, serve ye every one of his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. For in my holy mountain, in the mountain of the heights of Israel, saith the Lord God, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require your offerings and the first fruits of your oblations, with all your holy things. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people, and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered. And I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall bring you out into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways, and all your doings, wherein ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed. So that's the word for today.